Oh, all right, so I was gonna try and do that shot, but I figured basically no matter what I do, I'm gonna look lanky getting out of the car because that's just my body shape. This is my 97 Mark III Golf, which is now my project car, and there's one thing that makes this specifically special. It's a VR6. So this has the 12 valve 2.8 litre VR6 motor in it with a 5-speed manual transmission. First manual car I've owned and my second VR6. I'm so excited to have this car because it's going to be absolutely awesome, and I'm going to bring you guys along for all the content and stuff that I make with this car. So what have I done to it so far? Well, nothing. I have cleaned it. I have absolutely cleaned the living shit out of it. I have, the outside's pretty questionable at the moment. All I've done for the outside is actually just given it a wash. I've been through all the door jams, taken out all the spider webs, sprayed spider stuff like surface spray in all the guards and stuff. Heaps of spiders in this car, as well as that, you can hear that was spider webs on the mirrors, as well as spraying all the spiders out, pulled the entire interior out and used my Bissell to pull all the dirt out of the seats and the carpet because it was absolutely disgusting. So the inside is probably cleaner than it's ever been. A little bit of history about the car. It was purchased in Sydney in '97. I'm the 4th owner technically. I will be the 3rd owner to actually have it registered though. It was bought by someone named Jim, then transferred to someone named Tim or vice versa or something. And then the bloke that I bought it off brought it down from Sydney to Victoria and never got it on the road. So obviously no plate on the car. The car is unregistered at the moment, so I'm in the process of cleaning it up to get a roadworthy. That way I can get this car registered and be able to actually drive it. As you can see, I put a new windscreen on it. That went on this morning, had a few stone chips down here. So we're starting to tick off the things as we go. It's got new wiper blades on it. It also got a new battery last a couple of days ago. I'm gonna have to put new tires on it. New brakes have to go on it. The oil sump leaks the gasket. The oil filter housing gasket leaks. One of the engine mounts has collapsed. The CV boot on the driver's side, the inner boot is torn. There's just a bunch of little things that I'm gonna have to fix to get this car ready to be on the road. There's a slight coolant leak as well, which I think I've actually fixed already just by moving the clamp and tightening it again. As well as that, the exhaust system, which is unfortunate, has a hole in it, which means I need to get the hole fixed on the stock exhaust, even though I plan to put an aftermarket exhaust on it in the very, very near future for content purposes. 3-inch straight pipe, maybe? I think that would do very well. Anyway, so I'm just gonna go over and show you a little bit more about the car, and we're gonna start on the very first mods. I had some of my first parcels rock up today, which if you know me, I love my LED lights. So I've got some LEDs to go into this car. So that's what we're gonna be doing in today's video, as well as just having a little bit of a walk around. So if we have a look at the side of the car and obviously the bonnet as well, the paint itself is in very, very good condition. The only downsides with it is there are a few hail spots. In Sydney, it's not uncommon to have damaging hail, so I believe that's what's happened. Some point in its life, it's been sitting outside. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. Street View tells me that it's sat outside for the last 13 years because we looked up the address of the previous owner. So it's sat outside, but at some point it's been hailed on and it's got some slight hail damage. I'm gonna say there's about 5 or 6 dents on the roof and about maybe 5 or 6 on the bonnet as well. If you know any paintless dent removal guys in Melbourne who want a promo video to pull these dents out, let me know, because I'm certainly going to be pulling them out at some point. But at the moment, they're not high on the priority list. I will be polishing it, cut and polishing it soon. There's a lot of water etching in the roof, but there's heaps of clear coat left that's not peeling anywhere. So I've got no reason to doubt that this car is going to pull up really nice and really, really shiny. As well as that, we still have obviously the stock BBS wheels. These come with 15-inch BBS wheels from standard from the factory, and I plan to keep the BBS wheels on the car purely because they're BBS wheels, and I think that is absolutely awesome. I managed to pull this front one off. It was sort of rusted onto the caliper, onto the rotor, and when I pulled it off, I could not believe how light it is. So I'm supposed to be picking up another set of 5 of these rims. I'm going to pick the best 4 and the best 4 center caps, go get tires on those wheels, and then resell the extra 5 that I have because I won't need 5 spares. So that's it for the wheels. Suspension, I might eventually do coilovers. Coilovers and exhaust are probably really all I'm going to do, maybe window tint as well. down the road. I want to keep this sort of stock but clean it right up. This trim here has been scraped at some point and it looks to be resprayed. This is the only panel on the whole car that has actually got peeling clear coat on it. So I plan to get that trim piece removed, resprayed, and then put back on the car, which is something I'll be looking at doing as well in the near future when I'm cleaning it up. As well as that, the interior is in pretty good condition. I need a steering wheel. Surprise, surprise, the steering wheel column surround is cracked. It's a very, very common problem. And the shifter knob is worn out. Besides that though, the seats are in good nick. There's a slight tear in the back, which I reckon I can stitch back up with little to no issues on that. But besides that, the interior is in pretty good nick. Eventually I'll do a head unit and a stereo system. Purely, I'll probably just do door speakers. I won't put a sub in this thing because 99% of the time I'm gonna have the exhaust going anyway and not be too fussed about how good the stereo sounds. But other than that, that's pretty much the car as it stands and what's sort of wrong with it at the moment. But I'm moving house very soon. And on that day that I get an unregistered vehicle permit to move it from this house to the new house, I am going to get it looked at for a roadworthy, just for a pre-roadworthy inspection, so they can tell me what needs to be addressed for the roadworthy, which I don't think is too much. I think it's basically a lot of stuff that I'm already planning on doing anyway. I just think the main concern is probably going to be that engine mount, and I think it has a slight misfire, but that's something to look at, I guess, in the future. Let's start on some mods, because I got some packages in the mail today, and as far as I'm aware, these are all LEDs. Okay, and I've just opened my first package from Illumo, which is a lighting company that make very high quality LEDs. I've got 3 T10 white canvas bulbs. 2 of them will go in the number plate lights and 1 goes for the passenger side interior light. They're T10 or 5W5 bulbs. As well as that, I've also got 2 amber bulbs which go in the side indicators. I don't know why I'm really big on bright LED indicators. I think that's just a great thing to have no warm-up time, so it's on, off, and super bright so people can see where you're indicating, especially in older cars like this where these sort of side indicators are sort of faded and not in the best condition. As well as that, I've also got a smaller festoon style bulb for the boot light, or the trunk light, whatever you want to call it, and then a bigger one as well for the main interior bulb. This has 1 interior bulb that comes on when you open the door, which is this, a 42mm festoon. Then this 39mm goes in the boot for when the boot is opened. And then we also have a T10 for the passenger, but that only comes on when you switch it on. That's it for the interior lights and that. And then this parcel here, I believe, is going to be some of my exterior lights. So I'm gonna peel this open, have a look inside, and we'll see what we have. I stand corrected. I stand corrected, this is Little Trees. You know, the air fresheners. I bulk ordered because I knew this car would smell bad before I even bought it, because I preemptively was purchasing stuff for this car. So I bought 20 black ice air fresheners, 20. So this car is going to smell like black ice, which I think is the perfect spec for a P-plater in a 97 car. I don't think it gets much better than that. So once I remove this, I don't know if you can hear the garage door. It's very windy outside and rainy. Typical, it's always windy here for some reason. So there we have 20 black ice air fresheners, which I think cost me like 30 bucks Australian, which is really, really good considering Super Cheap sells them for like $4 each. So there's my black ice air fresheners. There's my Illumo bulbs. Let's go put some of them in the car and see what the difference is like. Let's start with the back number plate lights. All right, so here we are with the back of the car. I'm gonna turn my light off. It's gonna go very dark. Let's just see what we're working here for rear lights. I'll just turn my parkers on, and we have this bright. So not an overly bright glow, but decent enough to light up a number plate. Let's take them off. I'll turn them off, sorry, and we'll turn my light back on for you. And I'm gonna grab a screwdriver and we'll get to modifying those bulbs. So changing out these number plate bulbs is very, very easy. Surprisingly, being a Euro car, it's just a Phillips head screwdriver, and that's all that holds these bulbs in. So it's 2 that remove the cover for whatever reason, I'm really struggling. The bulb, the screw itself sort of sits behind the cowl, this piece here, and it sort of makes it hard to get the angle on the screw right. So what I'll do is I'll do a before and after with one, just so we can see the difference. I'm not, again, too concerned about the paint. If this was my R36, this would be a completely different story. The Audi as well, this car, I'm not overly stressed. There's the bulb, so there's our stock standard bulb. Let me focus that in for you, which is a T10 or 5W5 bulb. Let's go put the Illumo LED in and we'll see what the difference is. So I'm almost certain these can go in either way. I don't think polarity matters too much with these, but that's always. All right, let's just see if that works. And there we have it. That's a much, much brighter bulb. Hopefully the cover still fits over that, because that is a very big bulb as well. A lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. There we go. For a second there, I was slightly concerned that the bulb wasn't going to fit, but it looks as though it fits in there absolutely perfectly. Look at that. All right, let's close the boot now and have a look at the difference between the T10 LED and the regular bulb. All right, lights going off and on go the Parkers. Man, I can see how much brighter that is. Look at the difference. Wow. Seriously, an impressive difference there between the two bulbs. So what I will do, I will finish up with the right one and then I'll come back when we start on the side bulbs. All right, so number plate bulbs are done. Time to move on to the side ambers. Wow, I look pale right now. These are very easy to pull out. So if you don't know how to do this, right, obviously right now, this won't come out. All you have to do is literally one finger, push back, tilt. It's that simple. So the hardest part of this is probably going to be trying to pull that out. Simple. So there's our bulb. This is a 5W5, again, also known as a T10 halogen bulb. I'm gonna put that on the roof of the car, and I'm really hoping we have enough clearance. These bulbs just wanna roll off the roof. I hope we have enough clearance here for these bulbs to fit in, because if we don't, that's gonna be very disappointing. But we'll try our best, put that in, and hopefully this fits. And there we go, just like so. We now have our LED indicator in the side there. Push that in, clip it forward, push it forward. Now, hopefully this works. Look how bright that is. Wow. That is significantly brighter than the one on the other side. The instant on off too, wow. That's brighter than the P21W that's at the front. Yeah, compared to the other side indicator, substantially brighter, nicer color too, and instant on off. Very, very happy with that. I'm gonna go do the other side. I've also got LEDs for the front. Actually, I'll turn this light off just to give you an idea too of how bright that actually is. Very, very bright globe. So look at that reflection. This is nice paint. I'm gonna do the other side now and I'll be back once I've done that one. All right, so we're now back to the boot area. And here is our factory boot globe. You can see how bright this isn't. Not a very bright globe. To be honest, in person right now, I can only see about halfway into the boot. Anything over this side is completely pitch black. So what I'm gonna do, pull this out, unplug the harness for that. And now this bulb is going to be boiling hot, but I think I can get it out just like that without actually having to touch it. I'm gonna drop this onto this plastic bag and grab our Illumo bulb. And seeing as I keep banging on about the brand, I should mention I'm not at all sponsored. I literally paid for these with my own money. The only reason I keep saying it is just so you know where I'm buying them from. So this is a 39mm Illumo festoon style bulb. This is their extreme output bulb. I am slightly concerned that these aren't listed as canvas bulbs, although I highly doubt a 97 Golf is going to matter. For canvas, I doubt this car even has that system in it. But you never know, being a Volkswagen. So there we have it. The bulb's in the housing and facing down towards the bottom. Let's put this back in the car and see how much brighter it is. If this turns back off straight away, I'll be a little bit annoyed. Oh my God. That is way brighter. Oh my God, I can actually see the whole boot now. Well, there are 2 more bulbs inside the car to replace, and then we are fully kitted out at the moment with the LEDs I have. We're gonna obviously have LED indicators in the back, LED reverse bulbs in the back. The replacement halogen bulbs, I for some reason thought it might be a bad idea to have LED low beam bulbs, Parker bulbs, so just the brake light that's on when you're not actually got the brake light on, if that makes sense. So I've kept them halogen, but I've bought replacement bulbs because the right one here is slightly burnt out. It's definitely darker than the left side, so I've ordered some new bulbs as well to stick them in. But the actual brake light, which is a P21W, as are the other 3 bulbs here, I have bought a bright red one, and as well as that, the third brake light up the top, which you can't see, has 5 T10 bulbs, and I've bought 5 T10 ambers for that. So that's all gonna go in. Brake lights will be super bright, instant to come on, and hopefully people behind me, if in an emergency situation, will be able to react quicker, which is why I love LEDs so much, because they're instant and they're really bright. So for brake lights, instant and bright, people are gonna react a lot quicker than a slow to light up halogen bulb. That's my theory, at least. I haven't had a crash and I haven't had anyone rear end me with my super bright lights. So far I think that's worked. Let's go to the interior bulbs. Funnily enough, I should actually have mentioned, the headline is out of the car at the moment. Headline is failing, you need that for a roadworthy. Here is the factory interior bulbs. So that's actually gonna make this really, really easy to put the bulbs in because this is out of the car. But it's gonna make it really hard to test because I don't have a headliner to pop this back up into. So let's replace these bulbs outside of the car, put this in the car and plug it in just to test that it works, and then I'll have to pull it back out again. So conveniently enough, the passenger bulb, which is this one. So just to explain it, we've got on, off, doors open, and that controls this bulb here, which is a 42mm festoon style. So I'm gonna keep that on door, and then this light here is just for the passenger, and that is on or off. This doesn't matter where this position is. If this is off, it won't come on. If it's on, it won't go off. Pretty self-explanatory. So for the passenger bulb, it's as simple as twisting this little plastic bit out here. I'll just put that on the boot of the car, pulling the bulb out as per usual, and putting in our new T10. And hopefully this fits back in the housing. These bulbs are actually, I bought them because they look like they're gonna be small as, but surprisingly they're a lot bigger than I thought. But there you go, that's fit in there perfect. You can see the yellow for the chip there. So that's done. Now for this bulb, of course, this isn't the twist type because it's a festoon style bulb. You can see the bulb actually in there, but we have to remove this housing. So I'm gonna get some plastic trim removal tools and just pry that plastic housing off. So here we go. Here we have the plastic cover removed, and I'm sorry about the focus. Here is the bulb in there. So all we need to do, pull it out. I'm not too concerned. If you were replacing this with halogen bulbs, don't touch the actual filament, which is the glass on them, but it doesn't matter because they're all gonna get thrown in the bin. And then as simple as putting this into that like so. Probably could have actually got a size up. I'm gonna bend this in just to put a bit more pressure on it. Sorry for the focusing again. And there we have it. We now have our, sorry about the focus. And there we have it. I've bent that in just to give it a little bit of extra tension on it, but that is our super bright interior light in. So I'm gonna go plug this in the car and just test to make sure this works as intended. All right, so here I am inside the car, as you'll be able to tell by the significantly better acoustics. Here we go with the passenger light, perfect. And the main light, perfect. And if we put this on door and I open the door, perfect. Look at that. All right, there we go. It's a very successful day in terms of fitting out LEDs inside the MK3 VR6 Golf. This feels really weird doing it from inside the car, especially with no headliner and a freshly replaced windscreen. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video where I announced the MK3 Golf on the channel. Hopefully you can see me with these super bright lights on. I hope you have enjoyed and are excited for more content on the MK3 because there's going to be heaps of it, especially once this thing's straight piped. I'm going to make so many videos of it, and we're going to make a lot of, or have a lot of fun in this car. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure you like it down below. Let me know that you're keen to see some MK3 content and some straight pipes on this car. I'm thinking of going 3-inch from the headers. Basically, long story short, 6-cylinder, obviously straight 6, but not, it's a V6, VR6. Anyway, look up the motors if you don't know what these are like, but it's got 3 headers off the back, two lots of 3 header, goes 3-to-1 twice, and then right into the cat, it merges into a 3-inch pipe to the cat inlet. So what I'm thinking of doing is cutting it there, putting a 3-inch high flow cat, the highest flowing legal cat in Victoria, Australia. I don't want to break any laws with this car, although it's going to be too loud. I don't want to play with emissions laws. We're going to put the highest flowing legal cat in there, and then from there we'll go 3-inch straight pipe all the way to the back. So have a cat in place, and then a straight through rear muffler. That way it has a muffler and a catalytic converter, so it still looks legal. It'll probably be slightly too loud, but it will sound absolutely awesome. So that's definitely coming in the near future once this car's on the road registered and I can drive it. But with that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you chuck a like on it. Subscribe to my channel down below if you haven't already, because there's going to be heaps of content on this MK3 VR6. With that being said though, I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.